Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is a new week, and that of course means we've got some new updates headed to Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. This week in specific is already proving to be a very significant week for the game. We got a couple of pretty large updates headed our way, and of course, Season 1 Reloaded is right around the corner as well. So as we get into all the details of all the confirmed and expected updates for the coming days, if you enjoy the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. Much love to everyone who does take the time to do so. And of course, if you're new here or you simply have not subscribed yet, let's change that, because every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, and of course all the best loadouts. So feel free to hit that sub button to always stay up to date. But initially here, the devs are fully back in office heading into this week. They sort of came back a little bit later on last week, like the middle of the week last week. We saw some slight updates go out, but this week they're all back. And this should mean that going forward, as we approach Season 1 Reloaded on the 17th and whatnot, we'll start to see those more frequent hotfix updates. If there's some slight bugs or glitches here and there, they'll be fixing those more frequently. Obviously, the past couple of weeks has been a bit dry in that area just because the devs have been out on break. They're not in office to actually fix those things. So we should have a lot more hotfix updates and gameplay changes happening at a more frequent pace now. Just moving forward into the future, short term and long term now, there's no significant breaks on the horizon with that. But outside of just the more standard and frequent updates returning, we have a lot of confirmed changes and updates for the week ahead, and a lot of them are pretty exciting. So initially we have talked about a couple of these, when they first revealed them, but now it's the week of, so we know it's going to be happening. The first big update that we've got midweek this week is a new weapon balance update, a new meta update specifically for Warzone. We're not sure if anything's going to change on the multiplayer front here. We'll have to wait and see. But Raven did confirm, saying, we've seen your questions about weapon balance, and we're happy to confirm that an update is coming mid next week being this week now. And yes, that includes changes to the MTZ interceptor. So we know an interceptor nerf is coming here soon, alongside plenty of other weapon changes. And then just a week later, with Season 1 Reloaded on the 17th, that's going to include even more new weapon updates as well. So a lot of meta updates and a lot of general weapon balancing updates coming here in just the next couple of weeks, and this week in specific, we know we got a big one coming. Definitely looking forward to seeing how the meta changes and evolves, and ideally becomes a bit more balanced post the update coming up. Another update I'm sure plenty of players are going to be excited about, a fix for the Tyr Aftermarket part that makes it into a marksman rifle is inbound. Sledgehammer was asked last week when a fix was going to be coming for this, and they said our team is now back in office and working to get this into your hands before the mid-season update. Obviously, with the mid-season update being next week on the 17th, that would imply that this update is coming this week. I would imagine probably alongside the meta update and the standard updates on Wednesday, although it could happen on any given day. So we'll have to keep our eyes out for that. But I, for one, am definitely looking forward to getting my hands on this aftermarket part and seeing how it actually performs, and if it's a top tier choice, no pun intended for the tier here, turning it into an entirely different weapon. So that one should be pretty fun to see go live as well. We also have several new changes to the Trello board here that are pretty significant. Now that we know we have multiple major updates happening this week in terms of weapons and whatnot, we can expect some detailed patch notes. And while the actual Trello for MW3 with some of the multiplayer specific and some of the global updates for Warzone as well aren't actually new, the listings on these ones that have been here for some time are. Several places here have been updated from being investigated into fix scheduled, which means they have a confirmed fix and a confirmed update coming for these specific things. So initially here, the priceless camo challenge for the Storm Ender not tracking correctly now is guaranteed to have a fix scheduled. That should be updated here shortly, and you'll be able to complete that without any issues. The firing range dummy health has been listed as fix scheduled for some time since before they went on break, so that one probably just didn't make it into the last update. That should be updated here soon. If you didn't know, the firing range health, not accurate. You can't one-shot knock players with a cat in the firing range, or the dummies rather, I should say, in the firing range, but it works in normal battle royale. So stuff like that is not to be trusted yet until that fix goes out. They also again confirmed that the Jack Beholder rifle kit for the tier is not being, correctly unlocked for players. That fix is scheduled. And then also the event tab not showing up for players either. Obviously right now we've got the Vortex event going on, but players just straight up can't track their XP because they don't have an event tab. that's got a fix scheduled too. So good news all around there. Hey everyone, as we kick off 2024, one of my personal goals is to up my game, and I'm doing that with the help of my friends over at G Fuel. And with that said, I want to see you all up your game this year as well. And if you're looking to stay focused and energized, look no further than G Fuel. My go-to flavor to kick off the year, it's got to be hype sauce. This is a classic and OG and still one of my absolute favorites to this day. So maybe you're camo grinding, trying to break your PR in Warzone, whatever the case may be. If you want to pick up some G Fuel, code Immortal always has you covered with that nice discount at checkout, and the link for that will be down in the description below. Another interesting update here that we'll probably learn more about here shortly, but it actually took place over the past couple of days that's now been picked up by the community. They have updated their back-end appeals for Shadowbans. We obviously know right now that the Shadowban system in Warzone and Call of Duty in general, it sucks. You can get shadow banned for doing nothing because of spam reports. It's a system that is wildly flawed and they refuse to acknowledge it. It's just a trash system. But now, if you actually go to the site to view your account status to check and see if you're shadow banned, instead of saying that your account is like limited or something and it's undergoing review, they specifically say that if you're shadow banned, you have limited matchmaking while you're being reviewed for a potential violation. So you have a direct clarification now if your account is shadow banned. Usually the shadow bans last about a week and then they go away, and hopefully you don't get stuck in a shadow ban loop. You just gotta, really cross your fingers on that, and that's another huge flaw with the system. But they have updated that. It was not working like that with the limited matchmaking flag before. We know for a fact they're going to be talking about their matchmaking system here in the future with skill-based and whatnot. Hopefully they actually give us more transparency and communication on what's going on there. So bit of some wishful thinking here. If that's an indication to a system maybe being improved in the back end, would be nice to see, but really only time is going to tell for that. Anyway, moving on, another thing that we can expect this week, maybe towards the end of the week, is some Season 1 Reloaded reveals. Obviously, with that being the next major update taking place in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies and Warzone on the 17th, usually the reveals for that, a potential new roadmap or blog posts and reveals, take place about a week prior. It can be, right on that exact week, so it might be this Wednesday, it might be in the days after, to separate out the patch notes from the reveals and whatnot. But those should be coming up here shortly, and of course, as anything is revealed and or announced, you guys know I'm have you covered with all the details right as it happens, so just stay tuned for that. I'll be sure to inform you guys with all the need to know info for that. And then of course, as with any new week here in MW3 and Warzone, we also have some of our more standard updates to look out for as well. This includes a new addition to the weekly challenge menu, so we'll have a new series of challenges between multiplayer Zombies and Warzone with a brand new reward there, likely another new aftermarket part, since we have a bunch of those obviously confirmed to be happening week to week here, and eventually we should see a new weapon drop throughout those weekly challenges as well, but that'll be taking place on Wednesday. Then we also know we have a new playlist update inbound as well, and one specific thing that we already have confirmed for this week within Warzone is the quads playlist in specific. Raven's actually been running a poll on their Twitter. By the time this video goes out, it'll be in its final moments, but it's pretty much already decided. They talked about this just before the weekend, saying, hey, you guys wanted Vondel Resurgence quads, we'll bring that back for the weekend. Also though, you have a chance to participate in the community vote for what playlist is going to be live on the 11th this week. So when this playlist update goes live, we had the chance between Resurgence quads on Popov Power, on Orlov Military Base in the suburbs, or on Vondel, and the answer was not even remotely close. 32,000 votes at the time that I'm recording this, and 70% of them are for Vondel. So we're gonna have Vondel quads this week. We know that for sure, but there will also be some standard playlist updates in the rest of Warzone, then also for multiplayer as well, as with any new weekly update here across the board. With that being said, we've got an exciting week ahead of us in terms of some significant updates. Our first weapon balance update in quite some time that hopefully should be really impactful for the Warzone meta, alongside some other more standard things. As we see any new patch notes drop, any reveals, anything like that, you guys know I'm gonna have you covered with all those details. So stick it here for that, alongside everything else going on in COD, by hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, drop a like on it on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.